in that spot before. And there's two things we see literally. Oh, I've seen it for 7 years. I mean, so, and that is the first thing they do, they overcomplicate. So they get to Emerald.
Emerald, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when you get to Emerald, the first thing people do is they want to then go and they kind of overcomplicate what they need to do next. And the other thing that what happens is they want to now go manage those two coaches and help them grow, which your heart's in the right spot, but it's the wrong thing for your business. And so, you know, as of course, when you sign coaches up, you want to set them off in the right direction, you know, but you have to also remember is that you're just building your foundation. So the number one thing that you have to do to continue to grow is go Emerald again. So whatever you did to get to Emerald, I don't care if you signed your spouse up and your brother, you had a conversation with them. You had to show them value of what it was, of some sort, or maybe you signed up a stranger. I don't know. But the thing, I signed up my sister and my mom. Yeah. I signed up Christy. She didn't even know. And my mom. And I didn't even do it at home. I came home and I told her, hey, you're a coach. And she goes, cool. What's that? She had no idea. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was her and my mom, and then my sister and my dad. But then of course, you know, those are the easiest ones because they're family, you know, but the thing is getting the basics down to go Emerald and not ever, if I would have been taught this in the very, very, very beginning, then because I've gotten away from this too over the years, especially in the very beginning, I ran hard. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They told me, do you have any success stories? I'm like, well, yeah, I'm only in this business because of my mom, period. Because of her success that I helped her get with helping her in nutrition, with Shakeology, with the workouts, or else I wouldn't be a coach today. And none of you guys would be coaches. You know what I mean? But that's how it all trickles down, is that because of that result. So what they told me to do was, when you're talking to prospects and when you're learning about, what they need, the story you're going to tell is the story from the people that you're around. And what they meant was the team, because we all have our own stories while we're here, and I would say the majority of them are from some sort of results from something, whether it be workouts, whether it be, the Shakeology, performance line, whatever it is. It could be a combination, or the ultimate reset. I mean, we have so many now. And I think what happens is people get away from talking about the results. And back then, you guys, you have to understand that, I'd never done anything like this, right? So I didn't know how to, I was product dropping. Shakeology is going to change your life, I mean, I didn't know, you know what I mean? Because
what's in that solo cup?
It's water. But the thing is I got really good at telling my mom's story. And my mom's story is real, close to my heart, makes me cry every time I talk about it. If I get deep into telling that story, it just triggers me, right? And that's because it's means the world. I mean, and that was one of the conditions with me moving back to Bakersfield, was the first person I was going to help is my mom. And if you guys watch my social media, you guys know, what do I do every single morning? I live in we bought another house in the same neighborhood as our rentals, which is the same neighborhood. That was another prerequisite of moving back to Bakersfield. If I was going to buy another house and not put anybody out of my rentals, I'm going to find a house in the same neighborhood for my kids because they're friends and normalcies and that kind of thing. But my parents live less than a mile away. Just like when I did P90X for the first time, ever, when I thought it was fake, did it with my mom, driving to her house for 90 days. 90 days, drove there, and I was pissed off because of my results, because it only took me 90 days to see my abs. And being the gym guy, that was a big deal to me, because I was like, what? This stupid workout? I was like, oh, you know, some, you know, and if you relate to that in any way, you know what I mean? People
Well,
would.
Jennifer can attest to this. As soon as she said, you know what, I'm going all in, she's like, I have abs. Like, oh my gosh, she would tell me, I want to have abs. I want to have abs.
That's all I cared about back then.
Follow the program just as is. Trust the process. Yeah. And guess what? That right there is going to help you show what the product, like what it can do by following it. Right.
And Jennifer, you know, how did you feel when you saw those abs for the first time? I mean, you probably like an amazing, it's just like, yeah. Wow, this works. Like, yeah. So that's a part of your story right there. Just like my mom, because I wasn't focused on my own results. I was focused on my mom. Right. And so, so I got so good at telling not even my own story. I mean, I told little bits and pieces, but it was my mom's story that, because of everything that she's been through. And then I got to know, Mike was my coach. And so I told his story. I got to know other people's story. I think it was like 5 or 6 stories that I knew like that on our team. Not all PS coaches to me at all, but people that were, like us, we're working the business, we're learning, we're growing together, we're making mistakes, we're failing, we keep going, we keep talking to people, because what we know freaking works. And that, you cannot take my mom's story, forget about my abs, forget about all the success I've had with the workout programs and all that. Like, I don't care. Nobody can ever take away my mom's story, and getting off the medications and doing all of these things. That just is what made me go, I guess I'm going to be a coach today. Boom, enter.
Well, that's like this week. This week I'm running my free challenge, and out of 10 people, probably only 6 clicked going, and then 4 interested. Well, I still added the 4 interested, right? Only 1 has been checking in. And so I kind of put it out there, trying not to be mean, but I put it out there. I said, is everyone forgetting to post that they completed the challenge? I said, because I didn't get these abs sitting on the couch.
The more real you are being you with because I had to learn that too, Jennifer, and I did not do that very well early on at all. Like how I became a 10-star diamond, sometimes when I see other people like Elizabeth and like others working their way there, like sometimes it baffles me. But when it comes down to it, I had to learn how to be myself, because I wasn't really good at that. I was afraid. I was totally afraid. And I see a lot of people like that. But once I got over that, and, we all still have little walls up here and there on certain things. I mean, and I'm 7 years in, and built a pretty awesome business from home. And I still have things like, things I'm still working through, because I don't love social media. You know what I mean? I don't love it. But
I'm more of a private person on the norm, and so for me to do some of the stuff I put, I'm like, other than family stuff, but other things, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, it's uncomfortable, and but once I realized this is what helped me. Once I realized I was really helping people and I was inspiring people, I was like, okay, I need to do more of those things.
Yeah.
And then, and then be more real on the days, I'm not feeling it,
yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And then also sprinkle in the proud of, hey, this stuff's hard. Like, it's not, your own health and fitness is hard. And the more that you're real with your audience about that, and about saying those types of things, and you're going to relate to people, because who thinks getting abs is hard? Probably
everybody.
Right. And so, but the fact that you did something, you tweaked something, you did something that you're not used to doing, that's why you got them. Same with me. Yeah. I was like, Peanut EX, really? Like, I'm not doing that. Are you serious? And then I did 90 Days It with my mom. I saw a transformation in my mom, but I was like, looked in the mirror and was like, whoa. I mean, it was, and so, but that's my point though, is like your story and putting it out there. And Elizabeth, I have to just hand it to you. I mean, you do that. Your transformation in how you put your story out is a model. I wish that everybody would just, learn that part, because you've gotten, in the beginning, there was a progression, obviously, but you've gotten so good at relaying your feeling and just putting yourself out there. And
right.
Like, I feel like if I go to your page, I feel like I'm going to know you, but I feel like I get, like today with Felipe, and that, it's just, it's really welcoming. You know what I mean? It's not in your face. It's nice to put the in your face ones in there every once in a while. I saw that one too. And that, but it's like, but that's you though. That's life. You're right. Mm-hmm. And that's what that does is attracts people like you. Not somebody that wants to be you, but somebody who's like, she's my girl. Like that's my vibe. That's my, but you're also a go-getter. And so you're attracting people that, hey, Jennifer, I remember my first challenge group, I had one person in it. I had four, but one person, me, and I was like, you're mine. I was like, yep. Get results, I don't care, And so, but I poured into that person, and that next one turned to like 4 or 5 or 6 or something like that of actual people posting, and and then manifested from there. But that's where it's so important to continue to do those little steps to think, how do I go emerald again? That's so important.
So you're saying, Jed, so you're like, you have like still share your story. And I do have like a script where like people can use to help, because I do get a lot of times coaches say, I don't know where to start. I don't know what to say next. I don't know how to fit all of this, like step by step. And I do have a PDF file that I'm going to share on Team No Limits, and I'll upload it into the file. So I think we might have it. Then go back and see.
Early on with people though, early on what I found is just like how I was in the very beginning, I was clueless about volume. I was clueless about placement. I was clueless about what to do next. All I knew was put myself out there, tell real stories that are really happening, and especially the ones that were close to my heart, because those are the ones people could see. They could see my passion for it, and then be a damn product of the product, like you guys all are, because that's helping. That's your best advertising. Instead of saying, "Hey, Shakeology's on sale today," or the workout program, you don't want to do that. And you can only do so many Shakeology selfies, before that gets really old. And I did a ton of those, guys. If I go back in 2010, I did. There were Facebook was like nude for me. I wasn't on MySpace and all those other things. I didn't know any of that stuff. So all I knew was share. Well, the parts that we can all clean up is that you have to remember, you're not branding Beachbody. They have billions and millions and all that stuff to do it themselves. We're branding ourselves. So I always think to myself, you're building a business here. This is not like a lot of other things. That this is a true helping. You're really making a difference in people's lives, and that's what continued to drive me. Like what we were talking about, Jennifer, because it was those types of things I didn't realize at first. I was bringing people on the team, but we didn't have a get starting right. We didn't have, me and Mike and a handful of others were the first ones to ever make videos with corporate for training back in 2011, I think it was. And they were bad, but but that's how the training started for the company back then. But I think this is the part that people overcomplicate, and it's easy to do. It's so easy to overcomplicate. When you get to Emerald, celebrate it, and then figure out, how you're going to go Emerald again. And exactly how you got to Emerald, talking to people, the conversations, showing the person how to sign up, that kind of thing. You're going to duplicate that to those people. Hey, don't worry about anything else. Who can we help? Who can we help? And let those people know, maybe they don't have any family. Maybe they don't have any, any friends or any family that maybe needed or wanted or whatever. That's okay. So then you're going to share, you're going to share with them how to share what their journey on, let's say, Facebook or Instagram or those types of things.
Judd, I had a thought, or just I wanted to add. When like so for example, I think coaches need to decide what type of business or what type of coach they want to be.
Right.
Have like, are you wanting to build this business full time? Because Judd I feel like you're speaking on terms as you're wanting to build an organization. So right now you may have came in with your sister and a best friend or cousin or grandma, but the next two people, they may or may not be family or friends. They may be people who connect with you. They may be people who want to be a preferred customer, like get the 25%.
What level is it?
Those coaches will still help you be, grow in your organization. So I remember when I became Diamond the first time, I knew Judd said, you just have to duplicate Emerald, but in order to be a solid Diamond, you have to have at least 6 to 8 coaches. Now, if those are preferred customers, earning the discount, getting the discount, or working coaches, that's something that you decide then at that time when you're having those conversations.
Absolutely.
And when you're talking to those people, if you're stuck with what to say, reach out to me, reach out to Judd, post it on the team page.
Well, that's what I had to do.
Yeah, I did too. What do I do here?
I was like, okay, well, what do I say? Okay, they're interested. They want it. They want help. They want to lose weight. They want to get fit. But they want to get their stuff for free. Mm-hmm. And that was kind of our lingo back then, was how to get your Shakeology for free. Mm-hmm. That was like everything. And so it was 3 customers and yours is paid for. That basically covers your Shakeology. And so that, whether it was, I've never had really anybody, even myself, come into this business and say, I want to make $1 million, or I want to, I haven't really came across that, because a lot of people come into this business because they need help. And the thought of making their credit card payment, their car payment, is a big deal, so I always like to start them off with, hey, let's get your Shakeology covered. So then you never have it. I always tell a story. I haven't paid for Shakeology in about 6.5 years. I haven't paid for anything in about 6.5 years. So you can understand the power of that kind of conversation, right? I mean, you get to build a business, but you focus on getting those 3 customers, and sometimes guys, like, kind of like with me, I got my first 3 customers in, and they immediately wanted to be coaches once they found out that they could also earn over and above getting their Shakeology. So then I lost my 3 customers and they became coaches. And so I had to go find 3 more. Right. And so that was, and that's okay too, because, if you have people motivated that want to build, then it's not a bad thing, Mm-hmm. But just start off small, that's where we had the most growth early on, was just simply mapping out what that looks like to get 3 customers, the different ways to do it. And so, but yeah, back to the basics, and not even back to the basics. It's the basics that, duplicating Emerald.
Kimberly just hopped on. Hi, Kimberly.
Hi.
This is Judd. Here's Judd. Judd, Kimberly.
Nice to meet you, Kimberly.
Judd,
Hi.
One of our amazing leaders he is our leader for Team No Limit. So he's sharing with us, once we get to Emerald, what are the steps or some tips on what to do and then what not to do. And you hit a goal. You set a goal to achieve this in 30 days, and it was like, boom.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. Awesome. And I asked Kimberly, I hope you don't mind sharing. I said, Kimberly, how much time did you spend, working, to achieve this goal? And Kimberly, what did you say?
I think I did an hour. The first week, I was like really adamant about reaching my goal. So I did the first week I probably did 3 hours a day, honestly. I did it in the morning on my lunch break and then at night when the kids went to bed.
So let me ask you a question. Do you pretty much have mapped out what you did to get to Emerald?
Yes.
Okay. So then you'd probably remember some of the conversations you had to those people that, that either some pushback from them or the excitement from them from having the conversation. How obviously the conversation went good with a couple people. So,
yes.
So this is the part where I would tell someone like yourself who, fairly new into the business, right? You hit a goal and the number one thing that you need to do next is go duplicate what you just did. Show those people, if they are business builders, show those people your system, because what you're doing right now, you're creating your system. You may have learned from Elizabeth. She may have given you tips and she may have helped you, but just like every single one of us, we're taking that in, we're making it our own, because I don't talk like you and you don't talk like me. And you are creating your little system of what you want to deliver to your coaches that want to build. If they don't want to build, that's okay. You love them, you coach them, you help them get the results they want. But for your business builders, exactly what you're doing right now, that's what I would recommend for you if you don't have it. Map out kind of a simple little plan of what you're doing, because what you're doing to get there is exactly what you want to pass on to the people that want to build.
Kim, question, what, maybe share 2 or 3 things that you did, like the mapping out part. What did you do to this success in your 30 days? What did you do the first week? You worked 3 hours. What did you do in those 3 hours?
I did my professional development. Whenever you guys post people who have been successful online, I would get up and read that in the morning. If I wasn't reading my book, I would read what are other people doing? Or I would read the scripts that you had in Evernote. I would read that and I would duplicate it and, put it in my own words.
Which is what we want everyone to do. Right. Think about it. You work full time. All of us, we're working full time. We don't have time to sit and write up this thing, but now you take that, you can rewrite it, make it your own, but it's there. It saves us time, because when we have writer's block, we're we could spend 2-3 hours trying to come up with a post.
It's brain cells. None of us have time to spare.
No.
Yeah.
It's there.
Kimberly works. She's an elementary teacher, so could you?
Oh well, there you go. You need all the brain cells you can.
Daniel's.
Hey, I know my wife, when she taught that age group a long time ago, I remember I was like, oh man, you do everything.
You did personal development to kind of see what other coaches were doing, successful coaches. And then you use the Evernote, so the business in a box, to help you with scripts and to make it your own, which I love the teacher stuff. I'm all over it. I'm like, that's so good. So I need to grab that and see if we can add it to the Evernote, because if we have other teachers who join, there's something there we can fix up and put it in there. And what else? What's something else? Well, you're a product of the product. You're doing the workouts, sharing.
Yeah. Well, a lot of it was, the people that got me to Emerald were family and then coworkers, because they've seen me at work for the last 3 years, change everything. And, when you go and eat with them in the lounge, they're watching what I eat. They're watching my success, and it really honestly wasn't that difficult for me, because I had people jumping all over me, okay, what are you doing? As soon as I started posting, they were like, I want to do that. So I was very fortunate the first month. So
here's a way to
Kimberly, you worked for that though. 3 years. You worked for that. So you put in the work. So it might feel like you're fortunate, yes, but give yourself credit, because you have put in the work. You actually had to do the activity without knowing. Remember, you were doing all of this that we do. We still do, like Jed said earlier, we're still doing the basics, sharing our story, working out, inviting, sending messages, doing personal development. Jed?
Right.
If we don't do it, then it's you go off on space. But a great way to capitalize on what you've already done, even with coworkers at work and that kind of thing, is make sure that you are letting them know, the ones that are joining you, that, hey, who do you know people, let's build this group together. You kind of make it a community thing or even a work thing. I've done that a bunch of times with a bunch of different places of work that either friends worked at. We did it with GMC, with the managers out at GMC. We had a fit club going, and I'm actually, now that I'm back in town, I'm going to go start that back up again. But so I have a friend there, just like your friends at work. And we said, hey, who else wants to join in and do this together? And so what we did was they invited other coworkers, of course, just like what you've already done. And then now they sprung out into their family and their friends, inviting their friends. So basically for you, they're inviting people for you because what you're doing is working, and those that are actually going to follow through with the workouts and the Shakeology and the nutrition, they're going to see results, and their people are going to see them. And it all trickles back down to you, but you've got to let them know, hey, let's grow this, private group together, and let's help, so who can you invite? Who do you know that needs what you're doing? I like to talk to them in the way where it's like, hey, you like what you're doing? You like the results you're seeing? Well, yeah, Judd, of course I do. Okay, well, who do you know that needs those results too? Who can you help?
Okay.
And I'll help you help them. That's the kind of conversation. So people, they used to call people I would always laugh because they would call me Rocket Man, like 6 years ago when 7 years ago when I first started this, because I did that so much that's how I went 3-star in 3 months. That's how I went 5-star in 5 months. Is because I was so good at letting the people I was helping know, hey, you're loving your results, you're this and that. Oh yeah, of course I am. Who can you help? I want to help you help your family or your friends or people Oh my gosh, you'd do that? Yes, I would. Let's do it together though. Oh, and so that really puts them in that kind of role where it's like they feel good now that their friends and family are getting help. It makes a group more fun. And if nobody's selling anybody anything, who can help? And that the lingo on that part, that's where people get twisted and they get overcomplicated. It's exactly what you've already done. And this is just a way to expand on that, to take it outside of your work. Because, you can only help, there's only so many people there, you know what I mean? So, but that's how you do that and do it in a way where it's not a salesy feel. I can't stand feeling salesy. It just drives me nuts.
Right.
So.
Okay. That's a good idea. I made a note of that because that's how I feel like I don't want to go bug people at work because I have to look at them every day. And I don't want them to, be standoffish toward me, So that's
why you just continue to love on them and you continue to help them and answer their questions. And in conversation, you say, hey, I'm going to increase this group because there's more people that want help. If you want to add your people, anybody who needs their kind of results you're getting or that the way you feel, hey, tell them, come on, and I'll help you help them so they can, we can all get results together and make it more fun,
Okay.
And that's when this is the part that I'm not the very creative one when it comes to making groups fun. I'm like kind of on the other side. I'm like, you're doing it. So you guys can all game plan on that.
I love the tracker. I love the tracker because some people just want to be able to log in and do their thing.
Yeah. Well, that's my market.
Yeah. And Kim is always on the go. And I know that sometimes she's just logging my workout, logging my shit.
Yeah.
Sometimes no picture, and that's fine. I get it. That's why I love working with busy working moms because I'm here to provide them a solution. It's a solution for me. And I know how busy they are. Maybe they'll check in and respond 2 or 3 days later. I get it.
Well, and that's relatable to you too. And for those of you that have, working full time, that kind of thing. I mean, we've all been there. And like that's your market of people because that's who you are. That's who you live that lifestyle. And just like myself, I have my group of guys don't like groups. They don't want to post. They want me to private message each one of them. And so I do 100 videos to them on their through messaging you know, which is quick for me is I could be walking and be at the park with the kids, you know, chasing the kids and, you know, do your workout, you know, but
I know we have a couple minutes left, Judd. I wanted to see if I can open it up to see if Marcy, if there's like a question, maybe something that you are right now that if you just knew the answer to, or you're struggling with in your business, something you can take action on. Like as soon as we get off this and you start, you know, your power hour tonight at 9 or whatever, if you guys want to ask something, maybe, you know, maybe Judd, he has a different insight. Obviously, we all have different insights into our businesses and so I'd like to open it up to you guys. Like, is there a question,
Marcy? Something real quick too before you guys start. I'll say it real quick.
Real quick.
I felt every day at this. I felt every day at this. I get no's every day. I talk to a ton of people every day. I get messages. I don't contact anybody anymore. They all come to me. People that come to me, you know, I think I had 13 people come to me today, and 9 of them said no. 9 of them came to me for help and won't send me pictures. Not about money. I require everybody to send me front, back, and side photos. I can't help you. I have to see you. I have to know what I have to know you. I have to get to know you so I can help you. I can truly help. And part of my requirements to work with me, lingo, part of my requirements to work with me, putting myself in a leadership, you know, kind of thing, is that I need to get to know you. You know, and if they don't want that, they're not for me, you know? And so, but my point is I get no's every day. And I mess up every day, you know? And so my advice is as you get those no's, ask questions to all of us. That's one thing that people don't understand about my business and about other leaders is we ask more questions than anybody. You wouldn't believe, I mean, I was messaging people off of our team that I'd met at events saying, hey, what about this? What about, this didn't work for me, but what about this? And everybody helped. And that's how I grew. I mean, I suck at this business, you guys, to be honest. I really do. I'm not kidding. This is not, this style of business I've never done. You know, I'm house flipper, real estate, mortgage guy, you know, and ex-railroader, you know. So, I mean, this people business, I love people though. That's my thing, you know, but this is, you know, I had to really learn this and so I had to ask a ton of questions. So I'm sorry, go ahead. Less than a minute. I talk a lot.
Yeah, any questions, ladies? Marcy, anything you'd like to ask?
I think that my biggest struggle is forming connections because I have Teamsy. So it'll pop up like a name. Okay. Like this name, connect with this person. Right. So then I'll go into their Facebook and then it's like, okay, how do I connect with this person?
Hey, Marcy, how are you been? How are you doing? I mean, a simple question. Make it as simple and ask a question. That's it. Move on to the next one. I mean, hey, so-and-so, I have a group starting. I have a fitness group starting. Is this your time to get healthy? I mean, it could be the most simple little thing. If you know them, make it a little more personal. Hey, how you been?
Okay.
I mean, do that simple. And you have Teamsy, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
And just get through them.
Jennifer.
Don't do it. It won't.
What's the question you want to ask Judd? And if he doesn't if it shuts off, he'll answer us.
I will.
Kim?
Ask my question? I think the same as Marcy's, just staying consistent and just putting yourself out there even through messages as far as like what Judd said, just be simple. And I think I overthink it. I'm like, okay, how am I going to talk to this person this day? What am I going to ask them? What am I going to tell them? You know,
how you're going to talk to them is just like you're talking right now. That's why I do so many voiceovers on the phone. I do